Now, one of the reasons that it was hard to even lock in on what President Biden was saying is because he speaks so poorly. It's like every cliche imaginable. Roll of tape.
It's not a joke. Not a joke. I mean, come on. I'm not being a wise guy now. Anyway, all kidding aside, I'd say, come on. That's not going to happen in America. Look, no, I'm not being facetious. I'm not being facetious. No, I'm serious. No, I mean it. I'm not being facetious. No, I'm serious. Not a joke. Not a joke. I'm not joking. No, I really mean it.
Now, I was on a radio at WABC with Bernie and Sid this morning, and they asked me about this because it just drives everybody nuts. All right? I mean, how many cliches can you wedge into one paragraph? He's the record breaker. There should be an Olympic Games. He'd get the gold medal. But it's a condition. And I do this, obviously, for a living. All right? I speak to you. From here, it goes through my mouth, and it goes into your ear. It's a condition that he has, is that he can't formulate thoughts in a precise way. He can't. So he's got to drag all of this. Oh, I'm not joking. Nobody thinks you're joking. You're not funny. All right? Nobody thinks you're being facetious. They're listening to what you're saying. And you're the president, so what you're saying is important. I mean, you know, you're just like, stop it. But he can't. He can't. Because he's inarticulate and always has been. He has to, when he reads off a paper, all right, when they write things for him and he reads the teleprompter, he can do it. But when he's just speaking off the top of his head, he can't. He just can't formulate thoughts in a precise manner. That drove me nuts. Now, think I'm being too hard on him? Maybe. I might be. But there was one thing he said that surprised me, and I absolutely agree with it, and it's a very interesting story. He was talking about the high rate of drug addiction in this country, which is killing hundreds of thousands of people. Roll it.
Here's the thing. We don't have nearly enough people involved in mental health and drug addiction services, number one. Number two, we shouldn't be sending people to jail for use. We should be sending them mandatory rehabilitation. Mandatory rehabilitation.
Here's the thing. We don't send people who use narcotics to jail. Very, very rarely does that happen. They have to sell narcotics. If they use, they get a ticket in New York City. And now, with the current situation in the Big Apple, nothing happens to them. Well, if you do it in Arkansas in a small town, it's going to be a bigger beef, but not in the major cities. But what he said is mandatory rehabilitation. Now, I don't even know, again, if he knows what that is. But I know what it is because I did a master's degree paper at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University on this mandatory rehabilitation for drug addicts. And it is the only way you're going to get that problem under control. The professor, if you want to call him up and check my work, was Marvin Kalb, the old CBS News reporter. Marvin Kalb. He was teaching at the Kennedy School when I was there. I went to Singapore, where they have this. Now, it's punitive in Singapore. So if they catch you with any narcotics on the island of Singapore, you go to mandatory rehab 22 months. Okay? You go to a camp. And it's not nice. Now, you can, and this was the subject of my paper, you can take the program and make it humane. And that's what we should do here. So why have mandatory drug rehabilitation? Well, number one, Most drug addicts and alcoholics, for that matter, are not going to voluntarily go to rehab. They like getting high. You got to start there. Most will not. Some get so desperate that they do, but it's very, very hard to kick an addiction like that, particularly if it's heroin or opiates. Now, in Singapore, the reason and you don't have to be convicted of anything in Singapore. If they find it, you're gone because there's no rights there. I mean, it's a fascist state. They take the market away. There's no one to buy drugs in Singapore. And they hang drug dealers over a certain weight in public so you can watch. So the risk reward for the narcotics industry in Singapore is nothing. All right? So they don't have a problem. The market, the people who would use, they're in a camp. The dealer's got a rope around their neck. Now, if you drive from Singapore to Malaysia, which I did, you'll go over a big causeway. As soon as you get into Malaysia, there's drug addicts everywhere. Because all the Singaporeans who want to use hard drugs, they go to Malaysia because they don't have that there. Now, in the United States, the way you would have to do it, because the progressives would scream and yell, and I don't even think Biden knows that. Oh, no, drug addicts have a right to be high and you don't have a right to put them in. But how you do it is, if you are caught committing a crime and you have drugs in your bloodstream, because everybody gets tested now, then you have a choice. You can go to rehab, mandatory rehab for a certain period of time, judge sets the time, or you can go through the system, but the bail is going to be fairly high, so you're going to sit on your butt in prison. While you wait for your trial to unfold, you got to get a lawyer, you got to do all that. So that's a choice. And a lot of people will take the rehab because the rehab would be holistic. It wouldn't be like Singapore. You get 3 squares a day, you'd get a decent place to put your head down. Now, that's the only solution to the drug problem. There is no other solution on this planet. Now, Biden hit it. But do you think he knows it? No. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he studied my paper. Maybe he read my paper on it. I doubt it, but it's possible. It's out there. Fellow Americans, I am concerned about the U.S. dollar. Huge debt, as you know. Will it stay as the world's reserve currency? That's why now more than ever, I recommend you diversify with gold and silver. And the only company I recommend, and have for years, is American Hartford Gold. I trust them. I've personally done business with them. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA. And they make it very easy. So call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold shot up more than 40%. Silver, more than 60%. So don't wait. Call them now. 866-501-5201. 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Bill O'Reilly here. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the First TV YouTube page. Just hit the big red subscribe button below, and you'll get clips and highlights of my program, The No Spin News, every single day. We'll see you soon.